Alright, one thing I found is that you don't actually have to pull the entire power steering pump. You can just loosen up the bracket by taking off these two bolts. I didn't realize that it was a two-piece bracket. I'm about to do some work here, and there were a couple of things that I wanted to show you. One is that the crankshaft pulley, there's already another pulley that I took off here, and I had to pry it off with a bar. The other pulley was held on with 4 bolts. This pulley is actually an assembly, and it's held on. Here, let me see if I can get down there by that bolt. And I haven't taken it off yet because I want to show you something. One of the things that you have to do is find what's called top dead center. That is when your number 1 piston, which in this case in the V6 is over here on this side, when your number 1 piston is at the top of the compression stroke. When you've got top dead center, there are a bunch of alignments that are already made just in case you have to mess with the timing or something so that you can get everything back in order. If you'll notice, there's a notch right here, there's a notch right there, and if you look really, really close, you will see that, well, probably can't see for the glare, but there's a notch right here, okay? And when that notch down there is aligned with number 0, then this notch will be aligned with that mark. This notch will be aligned to that mark, which you can't really see. And your engine will be at top dead center. When you're manually cranking the engine, when you're manually turning the engine, you're going to use that bolt on the crankshaft, which is why I haven't taken it off. And there's only one way to crank the engine. If you crank it the wrong way, you could stretch or mess up the timing belt. So in this case, you crank it counterclockwise. So as I push down here, you see the camshafts turn. So now I'm at 5 on that crankshaft. Now I'm at 0. Now, you might have seen the delay in the camshafts. The delay is because this is a timing belt. On a timing chain, it would be a little more immediate, which is why they don't want you to turn it the wrong way, because then you stretch the damn timing belt, and if you're not changing out the timing belt, that can be detrimental. In this case, I'm changing out the timing belt. Another thing I wanted to show you, to pull that thing, I'm going to use this thing. It's a pulley puller, and it comes with various and sundry parts. The way you use this is you put these bolts here, drive that thing through, and this actually pushes against the crankshaft and pulls the pulley away from the crankshaft. And I did also want to show you, it's a good idea always, when you take a bolt off, put it in a bag and label that bag, because it's really easy to get these things mixed up. One thing about some of this stuff is that the bolts are different sizes. They look the same, but they might be a millimeter or an inch longer than the other. And if you mix them up, you could screw up your engine. One thing about doing work on an engine, especially when you're working on heads or something, those heads are aluminum. So if you strip out that bolt or that nut, which is really easy to do, you're pretty much hosed, because to cut a thread in an aluminum block or an aluminum piece, you know, it's suspect at best. Anyway, so now I'm gonna pull that pulley down there and get to that timing belt. Oh, that was good.